right, y'all, today is the day I'm finally gonna cut into my new fancy fabric. My first time doing nice, fancy, expensive fabric for a project. I am so excited. So the last couple weeks I've been doing twirls like crazy. Twirls all day, every day, twirling. And all of my twirls have been coming out so wonderful. I've been wearing them all and loving them all. And now it's time to really cut into the high stakes fabric. So today we are making the pickle pants. Okay, so the reason they're called the pickle pants is because this pattern, this fabric is called the micro pickle. And this is some fabric from Matchy Matchy. I got this in my summer sewing plans video. I unboxed it, so you can check out that video somewhere around here if you haven't seen it yet. But I am so excited to make these pants. I've been eager. So I've been just trying to decide which pattern I want to use and how to make it so perfect. So I've decided that we're going to use the dance pants pattern by Thread and Sprout. And I just made a twirl of these last week and I'm wearing them right now. So let's talk about what happened with the twirl, what I noticed, and how we're going to fix it in this next iteration. So hopefully these are my perfect summer pants. All in all, great pattern. Love these pants. Love the fit. Looking good. So just a couple of notes to think about as we plan our next iteration. So my thoughts from the first twirl. Good shape, nice pockets, perfect length, but the crotch is too dropped or the waist is too high. So either one, I'm not really sure which one and whether it matters. I don't know, but when I wear these pants to where the crotch is comfortable, they're like way up to right below my boobies, which is not that far off from how I like it, but it's just a little bit too high. And when they're down where I like them, then the crotch is too low. So just trying to find a balance there. There's also just a little bit too much in the front crotch area. I know they're supposed to be kind of big and baggy and with a lot of movement. And that's awesome. And I love that. But there's just like a little bit too much in the front. The way it's kind of like gathering and laying, it feels a little funky. So maybe taking just a teeny bit off of the front curve. And then my last thought was maybe to just try a smaller size to see if that works, which is a little bit more of a dangerous move, I think. But these pants luckily are like pretty flowy and free, so there's kind of a lot of room for interpretation. Okay, so all in all, I think that we're just gonna cut out the pieces as they are and then adjust later. So like I said, the waist I think is too high. I don't know if it's the crotch or the waist, but I think the waist is the easier thing to adjust. So I think that I'm just gonna make them regular, and then when we get to the part of making the waistband, I will just use a bigger hem and or trim off some before I make that waistband. I think that's the easiest way to do it. Maybe I'll move the pockets down just a tiny bit so that it all kind of lines up well and makes sense. But other than that, I think I'm gonna just make what I made last time. So the size that I made last time, I believe, was a medium. Yeah, so last time I made a medium, and I think that they fit pretty well. I don't really want to go all the way to a small. So again, I think that I'm just going to maybe like use slightly more of a seam allowance. Maybe that's something that can be adjusted. I don't know the best way to really adjust like this, but those are the kind of tiny little things that I'm going to adjust just to make it feel a little bit better on my body. Oh, also side note, I'm kind of envisioning these with another twirl that I made last week, the Arlo vest, the Berry Arlo vest. I'm loving this vest. Just struggling with figuring out what pants to go with it. And I think that these colors and this pattern is like the perfect picnicky vibe to complete the look. So that's why I'm really eager to get into this today. And I'm also hoping that there's enough fabric left to make a small top of some kind or maybe another accessory. Okay, so this pattern is super easy. It's just front panel, back panel, pockets. Nice and easy. The waistband is part of the front and back panels, which I love. So I think it's gonna be a quick make. So without further ado, let's dive in. Let's make the pickle pants. Yes. Okay, so So all of my pieces are cut out and all my notches are marked. And now it is time to prep each of the pieces. And this is why I love using patterns, because they always start with all the prep and you do it all at once and then it's done. And also because they tell you what to do in what order, because I struggle with that and I usually would leave these prep steps till later. But obviously we only have a couple of pieces, so we have to prep them. So first is to iron and press, not iron and press, is to press the waistband. So I've got a thicker waist elastic than I used last time. Last time it was more like probably an inch thick, and this one is more like 1 3/4 inches. So I'm gonna make the waistband a little bit bigger, and I think that'll also help with it being so tall. So it calls for a 1/2 inch fold plus a 1 3/4 inch fold for the waistband, but I'm gonna do 1/2 inch plus 2 inches. So that should adjust a little bit. And I did put the pocket notches on the small size. I use the small size to add them. So they're like maybe a 1/2 inch or more like a 1/4 inch, I don't know, lower than they were in the original. So I think that with all of that, hopefully everything will line up okay. So let's press the waistband and then we will press the hem, and then it's time for the pockets. All right, next is to attach the pockets. And I think this is probably the hardest step, is just attaching these pockets, which is like not that hard. So first I'm gonna sew it to the front. Sew it to the front and then press and baste onto the rest. Okay, oh no. I literally just realized this second that I didn't prepare a thread to match this. I don't know if any of these are gonna go with it. I might have to go to the store. Purple thread? Bollocks. Oh no! I guess I could use white, but like, I think because I'm trying to make this like really nice and really perfect, I think it is worth going to the store and finding a green that is the right color. Okay, so I guess that's what we're gonna do. Thank God it's open right now. All right, so just a quick little trip to the sewing store, I guess. And all we need is the thread, but we will get distracted, and I know that. So I'm gonna take a swatch of the fabric with me so I can compare and see if I can find the right color for this bad boy and try not to get too distracted by all the other things. Okay, here we go. All right, y'all, it got out of hand in there. There was a sale. The ladies were being way too friendly. They were pushing things on me, and I ended up with such a heavy bag of stuff and spent so much money for just one thing of thread was what I needed. So I think we nailed it. All right, so let's go home and get back to it. So much stuff. You know I have to show you. All right, so I just got a zipper to have. Good stuff. I got a few bags of buttons because they had some matching ones. I got 3 spools of yarn. 2 are pretty much the same, but I just wasn't sure if there would be enough. And then 1 is a little bit different, so I haven't really decided which one I'm gonna use yet, but I got all 3. They're 50 cents each. And then some fabric. We're gonna speed it, but I want you to see. So I got this like paisley fun fabric. I'm thinking a cute top, perhaps, some cool accessories. This really nice flowery blue. It's very, very soft, and I think it could make a good bandana, but maybe also a top. This really fun one with these like kids in a tree. It's so cute. It is so cute. And maybe like some overalls. I'm not really in overalls, like a jumpsuit, play suit situation. And or just like some cool patches. Oh my gosh, so many things. This one I got because it was pretty soft. There's a ton of it, and I think it would be good for making some toiles. Specifically, there's a dress that I really want to make with some fabric that I bought, but I'd like to do a toile first. And this one has like lilacs and roses on it. I think it could be really cute as a dress, even though it's just cotton. Okay, then I got this fancy fabric for my mom because she requested that I make her one of the tops that I made recently, the Arlo vest. And she's pretty picky, so I wanted to pick this up because she only wears black. So I wanted to find a black fabric that had like something pretty on it, and this one is like a nice feel. Ooh, just a couple more. I got this really nice, very soft woven white fabric as a liner for whatever I make next. Oh, there's 2 more bags of buttons in here. Okay, just a few more bags. I got this funky fabric to try and make Karis some fun, flowy pants and or a jumpsuit. This one I just couldn't pass up. I've seen it the last few times I've been there, and I just really wanted it, and I think it could make some really fun pants. And last, I got this upholstery fabric, which is kind of ridiculous, but could be fun to make some cedar pants for Karis out of. It's like very heavy, so I don't know, it might be too heavy to be pants, but it's worth a try. It's very cool, and it's really hard to find bottom weights that are cool and thick enough. So that's my haul. Wow, so many things. I spent $100. Yep. Ah well, so all this is going into the stash as if I didn't have enough. And let's get back to actually sewing these pants, attaching the pockets and such. Okay, my pockets are all prepped, and now all that's left is to put the pieces together. So first, I've got to do the front together at the crotch, the back together at the crotch, the inseams, the out seams, and then that's it. So I ended up not doing the French seam on this because it had this like little square thing, the method that they use from this pattern, Thread and Sprout. It just wouldn't make sense. So I ended up just doing it as the directions said, and then I pinked the edges for the finish. This part has the selvage, so I decided to just leave it, and then I pinked over here. So now I'm going to do the front. I'm going to do the crotches and the seams with French seams now. So that will be where we do wrong sides together, 1/4 inch, trim, flip, wrong sides together, 1/4 inch, right sides together, 1/4 inch. You get it. This is all that's left, pretty much, and then the hem and all that. So we're cooking. All right, y'all, the pants are done and they're amazing. I love the color, I love the pattern, I love the fit, I love the waistband. It looks so cute. The pockets are perfect. I think pretty good. 9 out of 10 on this one. I'd say the only other change that I would adjust next time is even lower on the waistband. So I did lower it maybe like an inch. And I think I could go even just a little bit because the problem is that the drop crotch, I love the drop crotch, but it like kind of chafes my legs where it lands. I got thick thighs, you know? So there's a lot of chafing that goes on. So I have to like hike them up a little bit higher when I'm walking. But other than that, I love these pants. I'm so excited that I made them. They look exactly as I imagined with my awesome vest that I made. And they look great with this outfit. I think they're gonna look great in my wardrobe. And one of the reasons that I was so excited about this pattern and color scheme in particular is because it's gonna work for me all year long. I feel like it'll look really cute in the winter, in the fall, in the spring, in the summer. So I'm so excited to wear the heck out of these pants. I hope they hold up well with all my fancy French seams. Hello, so if you're still around, I've got a little bonus situation for you. So it is the next day, and I actually it's 2 days later. So it is actually 2 days later, and I wanted to show you the matching top that I made. So right now it's kind of wrinkly because I just washed it because I wore it yesterday. But here she is. The day that I finished these pants, it was so quick and so easy that I was gonna like try and make a little matching top. And I started, and there wasn't very much fabric left, not as much as I had hoped. And so I started, and then I kind of got discouraged, so I quit. And then the next day I made Karis some dance pants, and that encouraged me, after that took only like 2 hours, that encouraged me to stick with it and try to finish this top, even though I thought that it was just gonna be trashed and scrapped. So luckily I finished it, and I was able to wear it last night to a show that we went to, which was awesome. So I just thought I'd share a little bit about how I made this top, because I didn't film any of it, but in case you're wondering, because it is a matching set. So a little bit about this top. So like I said, there was not nearly as much fabric left as I had hoped, and that's just the nature of like having to deal with the length and width that you have. So what I decided to do was use the June cutout back tank top, which I made a toile of. I have it right here handy because I was just going through my recent makes. So this was the toile. So I used the bodice of this because I love where the dart placement is, and I love the fit of it. And then I just took off the top where the straps are. So, and I lowered the neck quite a bit as well. And then I made a little point, and then I was able to fit it all on the fabric. And then we finished the rest with a spaghetti strap. And then when I was trying to figure out what to do next, I was like, the back is not fitting. I wasn't sure what to do. So I made a button placket, and then I was gonna do all buttons, but then I was like, that's not gonna fit. So again, frustration, but I realized I also made, again, I have all these out right now. I also made this open back mock top by Matchy Matchy a few weeks ago. And so I decided to use the same principle of just, of having the whole button placket, but just one button at the top and the rest is open. And I really, really liked it. I loved it. I think it looks very different from this one because of the way, like where it hits on the back and everything. And also like the top of the back is open. Anyway, I love it. I finished the whole thing with one bias tape all the way around the top. Easy peasy. I just finagled these straps on just magically somehow. I had to test the length a million times. And yeah, it was like such a quick finish because I like cut out the pieces the night before, and then the next day when I was feeling up to it, and I only had like an hour before we were gonna leave, I was like, oh no, am I gonna be able to do this? Just one bias tape all the way around the thing, and then a hem at the bottom, which I did a different hem than was on the pattern that I used for the like bodice block. But anyway, this is what I ended up with. But it looked amazing with the pants. It was so perfect. I got so many compliments. Everybody was very excited by it. It was very green where we were. We were at a vineyard, and I really blended in with everything, but I was excited. It was so cute. I felt so purty, and I'm so excited about this set. It cost a lot of money for this fabric. I don't remember exactly how much, like maybe $30 or $40 for the 2 yards of this fabric. But like, that is pretty nice for this like low-key luxury set, okay? Like, she did it. How much would you spend on a set like this, in this like premium fabric? I know it looks like crap when it's like so, but it went through the wash perfectly well. So I was glad to be able to test that. I put it in a delicates bag, and the pants as well. They washed very well. They're just a little bit wrinkly. So I'm going to iron them and then do some clips so you can see them. So anyway, that was just my little bonus at the end, if you stuck around. So thanks so much again for being here. I hope you enjoyed my full pickle outfit. This was such a fun little make, and I'm just feeling so encouraged to do more making. So here's my pile right now of things that I've got in the queue, and I was just kind of ordering them. So next up is this.
So make sure that you hit the bell to be notified when my next video comes, and I'll see you then. Have a wonderful week. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about my pickle outfit and what you are working on this week. All right, thanks so much for being here. Have a great day. Bye.